Hello and welcome to my video for Pride Month. My name is Gettingstranger and I am asexual. What that means is I do not experience sexual attraction. There is an entire spectrum of asexuality where people can experience it very rarely or under specific circumstances or not at all. I've decided that this video needed to be made because so many people don't understand how to talk to an asexual. Now, if you're like my dad and you hear the prompt, how to talk to an asexual, and think, don't you just talk to them like a normal person? Then you would be correct. However, you would also be overlooking the mind-boggling questions that are constantly asked by others. So, if an asexual has sent this video to you, you may have asked one of these questions that made them feel incredibly awkward, which you need to work on. Or one of your loved ones may be asexual, and you want to make sure to be the best kind of support you can be for them, which is amazing. Also, this video is going to need a trigger warning, not just for asexuals, but for everybody. This video will talk about sexual situations, including non-consensual situations, all different manners of things. So if those kinds of things are a trigger for you, then I would recommend that you don't watch this video, or listen to it, I suppose. But I thank you for giving me the time that you have. And with that, let's get started on the list of things you shouldn't ask or say to an asexual. Number 1. Don't ask inappropriate questions. We can understand that you're curious, especially if we're the first asexual you've ever met and we're teaching you. But there is a line in which the questions become inappropriate. A lot will depend on your relationship with the person, but generally it's frowned upon to randomly ask someone about their masturbation habits, any traumas they experienced that may have forced them into the asexual spectrum. And we'll come back to this point later on in the list. And other things of that nature. Think if someone asked you that. If you told them, I'm gay, I'm straight, I'm bi, I'm pan, whatever you are, if you tell someone and their immediate response is to ask you whether you masturbate and the frequency of which you do it, it's weird and invasive and nobody wants that. Number 2. Don't dehumanize or infantilize us. We are still human even without an abundance or any sexual attraction. And most likely, if we're having a coherent conversation with you, we're not infants. People say that this feeling is what makes us human, along with love. All that does is create a toxic and invalidating environment for the asexuals and aromantics. Some will look at us like we're not fully developed, as if our bodies haven't finished puberty or something. They will treat us like children purely for having different life experiences. Number 3. Don't tell us we just need to find the right person. There likely isn't a right person. This is something we have probably heard a lot, and we don't need to hear it more. We also understand ourselves far better than most other people do. And while orientations can be fluid and change and lead to someone no longer identifying as asexual, that does not negate the label the person once used, or the people who are still using the label. And as just a personal anecdote, I realized around the time that I was in middle school that I wasn't experiencing the same thing as all of my friends. They were starting to develop these feelings for each other and celebrities and stuff that I just wasn't. I thought I was a late bloomer until I was 17. At 17, I thought I was defective. I had learned to just fake it. I could only do so much though. I didn't know what a functional person experienced. But with my high school boyfriend, I talked like I was experiencing the same thing he was. So he'd be like, I feel this, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, me too. Sure. But I wasn't. It wasn't until I was in my 20s and single that I learned about asexuality, and I learned that I wasn't broken. I'm just different. Number 4. Don't ask about our hormone levels. We know it can be a hormone imbalance. We've probably had it tested multiple times if we've been fortunate enough to afford it. We understand you probably mean well, but trust us, we have likely had them checked if we could. We understand that you likely are saying it from a good place, but please stop. Number 5. You are not a golden ticket, nor is anyone else. Being with you won't make us less asexual. We aren't going to change because of you or anyone else. You don't possess the magical cure to asexuality in your pants because asexuality isn't something to be cured. We're not sick. We're not broken. We're just different from you, and you need to accept that. Also, don't offer to fix us in bed. It's incredibly creepy. But that goes for anyone in general. Don't offer to fix anyone. Any person. General rule of thumb. Number 6. Don't ask what made someone be asexual. Some just are. They were born that way. Some are as a result of trauma. It's incredibly rude to ask, so do us the favor and just keep the question to yourself. Think of it like PTSD. Sure, you might be curious what happened to the person to cause their PTSD, but you shouldn't ask the person to tell you what happened, thus making them relive it in detail, just for your sake. The difference being PTSD is a mental disorder and asexuality is not. Please do not get that twisted. Asexuality is not a mental disorder. And there's nothing wrong with your brain. Number 7. You are not entitled to any information. We don't have to tell you anything. You can have information we allow ourselves to share, but you are not entitled to any of it. Only ourselves and our potential partners need to know. The information you are given is a courtesy. And the last one, number 8. Don't ask for details about our partners. If we are in a relationship, you don't need to know the frequency of our intimacy, the kind of intimacy, or anything of the sort unless we allow you. See the last point. Don't tell us you feel bad for our partners, or ask what their sexuality is that has led them to be with an asexual. It's not your business. If we're in the relationship, we've likely had the discussion. You don't need to worry about it. And don't imply that something is wrong with our partners for dating us. Because, as a reminder of number, I believe it was 2, we're still human. And these are some things that are just points I want to make. Asexuals don't solely date asexuals. They can date anyone of their preference. They can even have sex. There's also an overlap of aromanticism, but not every asexual is aromantic. Not every aromantic is asexual. Talk to an asexual like you would talk to anyone else. We are just people. Thank you for watching. And I am asexual. Bro. Can you not? So if traumas they have experienced